Holy fur. You swallowed so hard, the whole place shook.
Are you kidding me? I've never seen anything like this before. Is this even legal?
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. Vice?
You really must be joking. Vice in Clawville?
Okay, I was pulling your leg. But still, it's a little hot in here.
Well, cool down, Marty. Don't even look over there. Remember Laura, your wonderful girlfriend, whom you love more than anything.
You don't need to tell me. All I'm thinking about is her.
With a hatchet in her hand.
More like my nuggets.
That's...
Laura.
That's it, Marty. Just slowly turn away from the pictures.
Laura.
Oh, it's the same for all three of them.
Laura.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny.
Yeesh. That guy's stare gives me the creeps.
I can see why.
I've always told myself that birds are weird.
What did you just say?
Huh? What? Me? Nothing?
Is he a bouncer or a guest? I'd rather not ask.
I think she must be the receptionist.
No shit.
Bravo, Mr. Detective.
Why'd you have to be like that all the time?
Well, sometimes I seriously can't decide if you've become totally stupid over the years, or it just entertains you to act that way.
Well, you know, that's a good question.
That's exactly what I mean.
My name is Day-Night Diamond. Welcome to the sweltering Nile, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Miss Diamond, I'm Sonny, and this is my partner, Marty.
If I may, miss, you have a beautiful name and exceptionally wonderful stripes.
Marty, not now.
Oh, thank you very much.
Please excuse him. He doesn't visit places like this very often. Me neither, to be honest.
Oh, nothing to worry about, gentlemen. There's a first time for everyone.
You're absolutely right.
We're just interested in a certain lady called Deborah.
Deborah. We don't have any employees by that name right now, but if you want, any of our girls would love to be Deborah for a night.
No. Excuse me, you misunderstand. She doesn't work here.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
It's kind of confusing, but let me try to explain.
Please, I'm at your service. I'll gladly answer any of your questions.
You hear that, Sonny? Any questions?
Shut up, Marty.
Like people, Diamond. Species zebra, gender female, special features, beautiful, calm and professional, and probably a courtesan. Pretty zebra receptionist behind the desk of the Nile.
I wouldn't want to offend you, far from it, but it's evident you're from the police, even without this.
Is it that obvious?
No, it isn't, but, you know, here in the Nile, we have a keen eye for this kind of thing.
Right. I understand, ma'am. Do you know a gentleman named Louis C. Hayworth?
Of course I do. Mr. Hayworth is a regular guest at our establishment.
I see. How regular, if I may ask?
I can't give you any information about that. House policy.
We have that too. It's called the law, ma'am.
If you have any questions of that nature, please come back with a warrant.
Fair. Fair point.
Touché.
Have you been working here long, miss?
Almost 5 years, sir.
And do you like your job?
Very much so. I think it's only worth doing anything if you honestly enjoy it.
You hear that, Sonny? You should take that advice.
I'm on it, Marty. I'm trying to get myself fired if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, and me too.
Collateral damage. Have you been working
wait.
here?
Almost 5.
Wrong one.
Does
Strange
this list mean anything to you?
This? I'm not sure. No, nothing.
Don't you see some familiar names on there?
I do, but everybody knows those animals. Personally, I have no contact with any of them.
I see. Oh, thank you.
Is that everything? Oh, the strange card.
Look, she gave this to us. The girl named Deborah, the one we asked you about.
I see.
Do you know what this is?
Of course. It's a membership card.
Was this person a regular here?
If this belonged to her, then yes. I can check for you. Please, the ladies will entertain you while you wait. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Much obliged.
Can we go for here?
I apologize for the wait. Please, come with me, gentlemen.
Thanks.
So you were successful.
My mistress, Madame Zavas, would like to meet you.
Save us.
You mean that, Madame Savas?
As far as I know, there's only one of her, so yes,
Please, miss, take us to her.
with pleasure.
Madame Zavas was a legend in Clawville. Her name was known all over the wilderness. She's an avid royalist, former member of the Council of 12, spymaster, assassin, businesswoman, and courtesan. To be honest, I didn't even know she was still alive. She's no spring chicken, that's for sure. She could also be my mother, or maybe my grandmother. First Ibn Wessler, now her. Honestly, tonight it wouldn't surprise me if His Majesty Hector III didn't grace me with his presence.
Has quite a resume. Spymaster, assassin, courtesan, businesswoman, royalist. Damn. Okay, let's have a look around here.
Interesting pieces.
Do you think so? It's the art of my people.
Crocodiles?
There are many kinds of crocodile in the wilderness, Mr. Featherland. This is the art of the Nilenites.
Ah, hence the name, the sweltering Nile.
It's a river, Mr. Featherland. My ancestors lived by this river a long time ago.
Ah, interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, first let's look up who she is. The legendary spy and courtesan Madame Zavas runs the brothel. We'd better be careful, her reputation is known all throughout the wilderness. Gender female, special features. Her smile is fake, her story is fake, but the danger is real. She's a spy and a courtesan who was already a legend when I was still just a little chick. There were tales about her beauty and her lethal coldness. Time never stopped for her either, but she doesn't seem any less dangerous than what the legends say. Now she spends her days as the owner of the luxury brothel, the Sweltering Nile. The Nile Knights. Ancient culture gone extinct. One famous, still living representative of this culture, Madame Zavas, legendary spymaster and courtesan.
Is that the time already?
Have you noticed your clock's not working?
How observant you are. That clock isn't meant to show the time, it's a decoration. A memento.
It's beautiful.
Memento.
Indeed.
There's something weird about that clock. Beautiful pieces for sure. They must be worth a fortune. There are books here on quite a variety of topics. There are books here.
Slime and punishment. Owls don't blink. The death of the horse. 49 years of the reptile. One key to the animal mind.
What a painting. Congratulations, ma'am.
Marty.
Yes. It's beautiful indeed. It's more than 40 years old. You know, I was considered pretty then.
Oh, don't say that. You still look great, ma'am.
Thank you. It feels good, but no. There's no need for lies. Those days are long gone. Every age has its truth and its beauty. For me, beauty is not in the looks anymore.
I agree, ma'am.
Yes, this is the Zavas from the legends. Beautiful and deadly.
Deadly. Okay, is that everything? I think. Okay, let's talk to her.
So she is the legendary Madame Zavas. Let me introduce myself properly, ma'am.
Mr. Santino, I know who you are. And I also know your partner. The legend of the chicken police is always one step ahead of the chicken police.
Thank you. That's flattering.
May I ask what you are looking for exactly? Here on this night?
You know, that's an interesting question. The card we've shown your lovely colleague.
Belongs to an old friend of ours, whom we haven't seen for a long time here.
And the name?
Unfortunately, no, Mr. Santino. That's confidential information. In my line of work, discretion is everything.
Well, you know, in our line of work, the law is above everything.
Oh, do you think so? I could tell you what your colleagues think is also above everything, but as I said, discretion.
Look, ma'am, we don't want to impose. We're conducting a private investigation, which started off as harmless, but now it's murder.
That sounds serious.
Just
It
a
is
little.
serious. That's why we'd be grateful for your help.
In that case, I'm at your service. Ask your questions, and I'm going to answer to the best of my knowledge. As long as you're not wading through muddy waters.
Fortunately, I swim very well for a chicken.
I swim well, too.
Okay.
This place isn't just our home with the girls. It's a sanctuary.
Really? How?
It symbolizes why the city was founded almost 1,000 years ago. Unity, love, freedom.
Interbreeding?
That too, yes. Do you have a problem with that?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't. My girlfriend's a predator.
Really? I'm glad to hear it.
Louis Hayworth is a good friend of mine. It surprises me that he's a regular here.
You wouldn't believe our clientele. You would be shocked.
No doubt. Louis, does he come here often?
Not so often.
Thank you for the vague answer, ma'am.
The mystery is thrilling. The thrill is life itself.
That was beautiful, ma'am.
Wow.
Tell me, have you ever seen this list?
I have.
Am I right to assume it has something to do with the sweltering Nile?
It does, yes. But I can't tell you more about it. No.
Discretion is key.
Absolutely. As I was saying, it belongs to us. Only our most valuable guests have one of these. And our employees, of course.
Is it
The
Natasha's?
employees, too. Good to know. Can you tell me if this card belonged to a guest or an employee?
No.
I thought so. Yes,
Well,
thank
that
you.
was helpful.
Do you know Natasha Katsenko personally?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about her.
Warm-hearted, protective, quick-tempered, fierce. Yes, fierce.
Thank you. Very useful.
Okay, time for the questions.
Deceit is everything to Zavos. She used to be a spy, so I'm gonna take her every word
This should
with
be
a grain
interesting.
of salt.
Okay. Deceptive. Who's behind the legend?
Who's behind the legend, Miss Zavos? Who are you, really?
Just an animal raised to survive, Mr. Featherland. And because I've been taught, I know how to survive. I always was what I had to be.
And you managed to dodge my question. Clever.
Well, you see, this is one of the typical elements of survival. The way of dodging a delicate question and still making the questioner believe he got the answer. But you're too cunning and experienced, aren't you? You're not an easy one to fool.
Nope.
I'm trying to maintain appearances, ma'am.
You should. Appearances, most of the time, are stronger and more dangerous than the truth.
Okay. Survivor. Were you really the king's spy?
Tell me, were you really the king's spy?
If that's such an open secret, then I haven't been doing my job very well, isn't that right? Yes, I was a spy. But that's such a blunt way of putting it. I always say I used to undertake confidential, generally political assignments of a delicate nature for the king that were in the interests of national security.
Put that way, it sounds rather romantic.
Don't believe the cheap fiction, Mr. Featherland. Espionage is anything but romantic.
I believe you, madam.
If you must know, I only did it because I believed I could protect those that I serve. Weapons have only one use in this world: to keep the peace. Yes, I always thought about myself and my craft that way.
Thank you for your honesty, ma'am.
Okay, plus 10, good. She's also protective.
Why is the identity of the card's owner so delicate, Miss Zavos?
You know, in my line of work, discretion is above everything. Yes. But of course, I have my own interest, like everybody else.
You mean every secret has its price?
Precisely, Mr. Featherland. But the price is not always measured in money.
Information. The most valuable thing for a spy.
I'm not a spy, Mr. Featherland, but in a way, you're right. A secret is such a valuable thing that I only exchange one secret for another.
Okay, good, good. If I guess...
If I guess who the card belongs to, will you tell me?
I wouldn't say that's an acceptable price for such a secret as this, but if you guess right, I won't lie to you. Then, I will tell you you were right. Yes.
Good. Let's see. The answer to my question, Natasha Katsenko.
Well, Mr. Featherland, it seems the gossip about you is right. What gave it away?
It couldn't have been easier. There's a beautiful woman with a mysterious past, trying to keep it a secret, while someone's threatening her with the exact same thing, leaving rather unmistakable messages behind. Plus, we found the card on Deborah, who was her best friend and confidant, so she was either trying to hide it or destroy it forever, so no one could find out the truth. Am I right so far?
Indeed, Mr. Featherland.
So if I'm not mistaken, Natasha used to work for you before she met Ibn Wessler. He fell in love with her, gave her a job at the Millions Club. The rest is history.
You have talent, Mr. Featherland. I'm really sorry you're not working for the government.
I am working for the government. I'm a cop.
Are you sure, Mr. Featherland?
Touché.
Indeed. Natasha used to work here. We can put it that way, but you know, this isn't just a workplace. She also lived here. She was part of our family, and we still love her very much.
Right. That puts everything in a different light. Savas is a true survivor, always
Dangerous.
was. And she's proud of that, even to this day. Maybe I can get her to trust me if I play to this part of her.
Okay. Deceptive, survivor, protective, dangerous. Maybe you saw yourself in her?
Why did you take her in? Maybe you saw yourself in Natasha.
She was only 17 when she knocked on the rear entrance of the brothel on an unusually cold, rainy night. I opened the door myself.
Was Natasha alone?
Yes, completely alone. Her left arm was slashed with an ugly wound, and she was frozen to the bone, barefoot, only a thin nightgown on her.
Did she tell you what happened to her?
After I brought her into the house, warmed her up, and changed her into new clothes, that was the first thing I asked. But no, she didn't tell me. We became very good friends, but I still don't know what happened to her and where she came from, or how she knew about this place and the rear entrance.
And you weren't bothered by all those secrets?
That would have been very hypocritical of me, don't you think? No, it didn't bother me. I make a living out of secrets, Mr. Featherland.
I see.
Nice. Okay. But do you know?
Do you know where Natasha came from before Clawville?
Naturally. The poor dear couldn't even deny it. Even her name's eloquent, her accent, but mostly her manners, Mr. Featherland. She's from Stovos, and she belonged to the upper class of Stavonian social circles. She could barely even speak the language when I first met her.
That's all you know about her. An ex-spy like you must have checked up on her new protege's past.
That's the most exciting thing. Yes, I have. Multiple times putting my most treasured connections to good use. But nobody found anything. Natasha's trail could only be traced back to the Stavonian border. What happened in that country, no one knows.
It's rather curious, don't you think?
It is, Mr. Featherland, yes, curious. That's why I've always been rather fond of Natasha.
Did it touch you deeply when she left you?
Indeed, it did.
Zavas is protective. It seems she's dedicating her whole life to her proteges. If I concentrate on that, maybe she'll open up to me.
Okay. Oh, we're getting there. Have you kept in touch?
Have you kept in touch?
Only occasionally, Mr. Featherland. She writes to me every few weeks, and very rarely we talk on the phone. But I haven't heard from her in weeks. The truth is, I've started to worry about her.
Did she give no sign of being in trouble?
Never. No. Natasha's not the kind to talk about her feelings.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself.
Okay. Last time you saw her?
When was the last time you saw her, Madame Zavas?
Maybe around 2 months ago. There was a ball, attended by Ibn Wessler, his beautiful mate Natasha, and myself. Yes.
Was she herself? Did you feel like she was afraid or worried about something?
On the contrary, she was unrestrained, free, radiant. She was in love. Yes, in her own unique way.
What do you mean?
You know Natasha loves on a different level than most Clawville women. Or most women in the wilderness, in fact. Maybe it's because of the Stovonian origins. Perhaps it's something else.
So you didn't notice anything strange about her?
Well, if anything could be called strange, it was that I saw a woman positively floating above the ground, who previously used to stand on it with 2 feet.
I see. Thank you, madam.
How did you feel?
How did you feel when you learned Natasha was going to leave?
Honestly, I was very hurt. I loved her as a daughter. How would you have felt?
I couldn't say.
And I still couldn't stop her, and you know why?
Of course I do. Because you loved her.
You've been in my shoes before, am I right, Detective? Yes, I can feel you have.
This isn't about me, madam. Please stop changing the subject.
I have felt betrayed on a certain level. Yes, and offended, and alone. Even amongst all my friends.
Were you disappointed in her?
Only in myself, Mr. Featherland. But I have a hunch you know this feeling very well.
Yes, you're right. Well, thank you for your time, madam.
Anytime, Detective. Yes, anytime.
90%. Oh yeah. First try. Natasha worked at the Sweltering Nail brothel before even Wesley discovered her and got her out of there.